Hi, I'm Susan Garside. I'm the equestrian director out here at Camp Wainoa, and today we're going to give you a little lesson on some horse parts here with Miss Topanga, and she's going to be our little model here to show us some of the parts so you guys can learn something while you're at home this week. So at the front of our horse, we have our horse's cheek, her muzzle, her nostril, her ears. As we continue down her body, this long hair on her neck is called the mane. This big muscle right here, this is called her shoulder. As we move back on her body, we have the tallest part of her body is called her withers. So this is an interesting fact about her withers. This is when you measure a horse, you measure from the ground to their withers. And just like people, we measure to the top of our head in inches and feet. When you measure a horse, you measure in hands. So a hand is 4 inches. So if you were to start at the ground by her hoof and you had 4 inches and you measured all the way up her leg, all the way up her shoulder to the top of her withers, that would be her height. So Topanga is about 15 hands. So 15 times 4 is about how many inches tall Topanga is. We don't measure to the top of their head because, as you know, a horse's head goes up and down on their body, so we would have a different measurement of height every time. Alright, so as we continue back on her body from her withers, we get to her back. And this is where the rider will sit or the saddle will sit. So this is where they carry the most of their weight. As we continue along her body, we have this rounded part of her rump. This is called the croup. So this is the croup. And then also we have the point of her hip. If you touch your own hip right here and you find that hard point, that's the same as our horse, is the point of their hip. As we continue down her body, we have our tail. And a horse's tail actually has skin and bones into it to about here. So this part of her tail, that is called the dock. So the dock of her tail is the bony part, and that's what helps her swish it. Then for any of my advanced kids that want to know a few more harder parts of the body, as we go down our leg, I always like to teach my older kids the parts of the leg. So this first part from the shoulder to the knee, that's called their forearm. Then this joint right here is their knee. So they have 2 knees, 2 forearms. This part right here, this long bone, is kind of like our shin bone. This is called the cannon bone. So horses have 4 cannon bones, 1 on each leg. This joint right here, which is kind of like our ankle, this is called the fetlock. So F-E-T-L-O-C-K, the fetlock. So horses have 4 fetlocks. Then they have a short bone between their hoof and their fetlock. This short bone is called the pastern. So I always tell my kids horses eat in a pasture, but the horse has a pastern. So it ends with an N. Then we have this little band right here where the hoof and the hair meet. So this is called the cornet band, and that is where the hoof grows out of. If you happen to have an injury right here, it will affect the growth of the hoof. And then our final part of the foot, or the leg, is the hoof. So we have hoof, cornet band, pastern, fetlock, cannon bone, knee, and forearm. And then I always like to show them their elbow. So if you bend the horse's front leg, then you can see their elbow. On the hind leg, it has almost all the same parts, but at the top, it's a little bit different. Instead of a forearm, this big muscle right here is called the gaskin. And instead of a knee, they have a hock. And then we have our cannon bone, fetlock, pastern, and hoof. Alright, thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Susan Garside and Topanga out here at Camp Wainoa, enjoying the spring weather, and we look forward to seeing you guys later this summer. Have a great day.